deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your why that gives you your purpose. Let's go. Thoughts can keep you down, pushing deep until you drown, or they can keep you up strong, focused on the now. Glass half full, or has it been emptied out? Well, that's all up to you and your mind. Do you doubt anything, everything, not a thing? Make my thoughts work for me, manifest what I need, what I want, what I see. I could be anything, I attract all the things that I see. I believe I'll achieve as I breathe in and out again and again. I don't doubt, I sit and I plan, and I found out that I can execute if I'm driven, if I listen, if I learn all the wisdom. Read some books, something written, watch the best, teach a system I invest. Never hidden, I ain't scared, ain't no chicken, I take dares. I'll be winning, you get back what you're giving. Find the reason that you're living, what you're good at, all your gifts and what you love. Take a risk and find out what you've been missing. The will lies deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your why that gives you your purpose. The will lies deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your why that gives you your purpose. And like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your why that gives you your purpose. The will lies deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your why that gives you your purpose.
Olympic hero Kurt Angle, and you're listening to the We Are Wrestling podcast.
Yo, listen. This is the best wrestler alive, Platinum Max, and you're listening to the We Are Wrestling Podcast.
Hey everybody, Eric Bischoff here, and you are listening to We Are Wrestling Podcast.
Hello everyone, this is Nunzio, former WWE Cruiserweight Champion, and you're watching We Are Wrestling Podcast.
We Are Wrestling Podcast. Check them out, man.
Stay tuned, listen to the podcast. Best one, Donnie might teach you a thing or two.
Wrestling. And if you don't listen to it, then it's one-on-one with The Undertaker.
Featuring your hosts, Danny and Donnie. We are wrestling.
There we go. What is up? We are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide. I'm the host with the most, Mr. We Are Wrestling himself, the best one, Donnie, here with...
What is going on? We Are Wrestling Maniacs worldwide. It has been here. A third of We Are Wrestling and a grumpy old fucking geezer. I'm tired. What's going on, Danny?
What's going on, everybody? We are back here with another banger of an episode. You know, not much is going on news-wise, but I have a feeling that there's going to be a lot for us to discuss. So, Donnie, take it away. What is going on, my guy?
Let's just say we got a lot of TV recaps, lots of reviews this week because we're on the road to WrestleMania and we're so close. But before we get into all the good stuff that we're going to be talking about this week here on the We Are Wrestling podcast, if you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already and you're listening to this episode wherever you get your podcast, give us a 5-star review, not just any review, a best one review, and download the episodes. And go give us a follow on all the We Are Wrestling social medias for daily wrestling news. But if you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac, you're already over on the YouTube channel where you get these episodes live every Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you're not a part of the thousands of subscribers. We recommend you to hit that subscribe button now, turn on the post notifications. Videos be coming out of nowhere like an RKO. And of course, you already know the grind is real. Yeet! Yeet, yeet, yeet. So, how you guys doing?
Left foot. I hope you keep recover fine. A fractured foot fucking sucks. God, I hope you recover just fine. What happened, dude? Other than that, I'm doing good, man. How you doing? I'm tired as fuck, but how you doing?
Doing pretty good, man. Doing pretty good. It's been a very, very busy week. And over the weekend, I do want to give a shout out to all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs and best ones who I saw at the New England Fan Fest 10. There will be a vlog coming out to the channel this Friday and a haul video over on my toy channel, Best One Donnie. But yeah, it's been also going pretty good as well. And this May, I made a big purchase, a very big one.
What's that? A big boy purchase?
Yes, I did. So, the reason I am wearing my Chain Gang Soldier John Cena jersey is because I'm going to be going out to Philadelphia on Saturday, May 17th, and I'm going to be meeting John Cena, my childhood hero.
Huh. Nice, man.
You want to know how much money I spent?
How much? You fucking spend?
So, I got 6 premium autographs and a photo op. So I'm going to let you just throw a number out there.
You spent $2,000.
Nope, a little bit lower than that.
1,700.
Nope, I paid $1,400.
Oh my god. Why?
That's right, the things I would do for my childhood hero.
Oh my god. Now, is it in payments or did you flat out pay it?
Oh, payments, of course.
Okay, thank fucking God. Okay, all right, okay, cool.
Well, I've been saving up a lot of money because of Fanatic Fest. I was going to do the whole weekend, but now I'm only doing Saturday, so
Yeah,
I put that money that I was saving up into the John Cena experience.
Oh, which one were you going to?
Fanatic Fest.
Oh, okay. Okay, so we're not doing Sunday?
Nope, we're going to be doing Saturday.
Oh, when's Rhea going?
I think Sunday.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, but Danny, how have you been? You're so quiet right now. We haven't seen you since last week, or a couple weeks ago.
I know, man. You know, I had stuff to take care of. I'm doing good, man. Not much has happened. Just, been banging out some content or whatever. I'm pretty, I don't know why. It's kind of weird for me to say this, but I'm kind of excited to go on Saturday to AW Collision. Don't think it's going to be a great show. I pretty much think it's going to be passable. And if you end up missing the show, I don't think anybody's going to really blame you. But it's going to be fun to actually go there and experience it live, because being at a live show is different than watching it on TV. You know what I mean? Just getting to experience the atmosphere. That's what I'm looking forward to most, to be honest with you.
Oh, dude, I cannot wait for you guys to experience your first ever AEW show because it is a lot different than going to a WWE one.
This is going to be also a monumental moment as well. Because this is the first time since any of us has known each other that we're actually going to a legit, televised wrestling show.
Oh, shit.
We have never gone to WWE.
You're
We've
right.
never gone to AEW. We've never gone, nothing. So
Yeah, we've only been to probably Blitzkrieg and Northeast.
Yeah, so this is a monumental weekend, man. Or at least, Saturday. It's going to be pretty big.
All I know is, guys, in the live chat, we need prayer emojis that Ben's favorite women's wrestler, Mercedes Moné, is going to be wrestling on this card Saturday.
We might have to bring him some lotion and some wet naps.
I'll wear my fake ass legit boss shirt.
Fake. But Ben, how excited are you for your first AEW show?
It's a show. I get to go out on a Saturday.
That's
And
right, Saturday night.
I think the biggest highlight of all of it is I don't get to watch Cope wrestle now because he's written off for a storyline. So I'm probably not going to see Cope now. So at this point, it's just going out on a Saturday.
That's right, and you can never go wrong going out on a Saturday night for some good old pro wrestling. But a couple things that we do want to plug before we get into our Power of the Poll, because next week is WrestleMania week, and you guys all know, if you've been a part of the We Are Wrestling universe, that we like to do this little thing, like everyday uploads, and we got some content lined up for next week. So on Monday, I'm going to be doing a whole tier list video on every John Cena WrestleMania match. On Tuesday, there's going to be the normal Monday Night Raw reactions. Wednesday, we're going to be doing another live episode of the We Are Wrestling podcast, but it's going to be WrestleMania predictions. So there's going to be no news, there's going to be no TV recaps, only predictions, Power of the Poll, and maybe a getting put over. We'll decide that later on. Thursday, we're going to have another tier list video, WrestleMania stages. And then on Friday, the We Are Wrestling Podcast Extra, where whoever, probably me and whoever, will review some of the wrestling news that's going on that we're not going to talk about on the normal show. And then on Saturday and Sunday, of course, the WrestleMania 41 live watch-along, which We Are Wrestling will be doing a live watch-along, and Danny over on his channel, Danny Huckins, PW, he'll be doing a watch-along as well, so we hope that you guys go back and forth.
Exactly. I'll be live for SmackDown. I'm thinking about going live for the Hall of Fame as well, just because I'm very, interested in checking it out. I'm going to watch it regardless, but I don't know if I'm going to stream it or not. I'll be live for NXT Stand and Deliver Saturday afternoon. I'll be live Saturday night. I'll be live Sunday night, and I'll be live Monday night for the Raw After Mania. So it's going to be a lot of content between We Are Wrestling and my channel. So feel free to subscribe and hit that bell.
And even on top of that, I'm going to be doing a lot of content on the Best One Donnie channel now that my studio is finally cleaned up.
Congratulations, man, on 2,000 subscribers, bro. That's fucking huge.
Yes, sir. And I'm sure next week, Ben, you're going to be twitching away.
I twitch every day, man.
Yep, so the grind is real. But I will say this, though, for the WrestleMania predictions next week, that's how we're going to do it for now on, moving forward with WWE PLEs, with predictions. If it is that week, we're going to pretty much make the whole episode based off the predictions, and then if there's like additional news and stuff, it'll just be a whole extra. I think that's the way to go.
It's the easiest way to do it. Literally, it's the easiest way to do it.
Oh, absolutely, 1,000%. And let's show some love to some people here in the live chat. We got Aya. We also got Bradley. We got We Are Wrestling member Angelo. We got Retro Gamer in here.
What's going on, Retro?
We got lots of awesome We Are Wrestling Maniacs. And if you want to be a part of this, every Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, with that being said, let's get into the We Are Wrestling Power of the Poll. And every week, we recommend all you We Are Wrestling Maniacs to go to the We Are Wrestling YouTube channel, go to our community tab, and vote. We give you guys 1 week exactly. And because it was April Fool's week, we asked you guys who was the funniest wrestler last week, and R-Truth won by a landslide. And this week, we wanted to change the mood a little bit. So we asked you guys, out of these 4 wrestlers, who is the biggest bully? So, Ben, you want to hit that beat? And with no surprise, JBL wins by a landslide. 65% of you guys voted for him, while 15% picked Bully Ray, 12% picked Hardcore Holly, and 8% picked The Click. Do you guys agree with the Maniacs on this one?
No, just because, I get, JBL's a dick, whatever, I've heard mixed stories, but if I were to go straight up dick, I would have gone with fucking Bully Ray, 100%. I just feel like Bully Ray is just a dick to be a dick, sometimes it's genuinely uncalled for, and I'm like, dude, JBL, a lot of the time, it's either I'm no excuse for it, but a lot of the times you catching him drunk, so your experience is just sloppy, or he's a really nice guy from what I heard, or if he is pissed off, it's usually provoked. Bully Ray is just a dick to be a fucking dick, and I've seen it. Like I've seen it. Like he's a dick. He's just kind of got this dickish aura about him. Yeah, I get it. You logged the miles, you took the bumps, you did some things for your career that are very prolific that are going to last at the end of time. Where that's good, it doesn't give you the edge to be an asshole.
And if you don't believe Ben, go watch WWE LFG.
So,
but I mean, like LFG, I feel like is different or whatever because it's like, you're
shaping a superstar.
Yes, he shouldn't. Yeah, he shouldn't. Be as harsh on the trainees as he should be. But I mean,
I love it.
Like you gotta kind of have like a backbone or whatever getting into this business. Like not everybody's gonna be your friend. It's a very cutthroat kind of industry or whatever. And he's pretty much preparing them for that. But I will say, like, I was watching every day. I watch Busted Open. Like they post like clips from their podcast, whatever, on YouTube. And yesterday, they were talking about the whole Jey Uso and Gunther face off that I'm sure we'll talk about in a little bit. And Bully Ray just out of nowhere, he was like, "Yeah, over the years I spent $500,000 on settlements because I just punched people in the face for talking too much." And it's just like, I mean, that coincides with his character,
That's the New Yorker in him. Yep. That's true. But honestly, I do kind of disagree on this one with JBL winning by a landslide. Maybe because the older JBL's getting, the nicer he is. Because I had a meet and greet experience with him at Big Event New York back in November, and I was nervous because every person that has met him has told me he is such a dickhead. You're gonna have the worst experience ever. And maybe I caught him on a good day because he was very nice to me and gave me an extra free autograph, which he didn't have to do.
Yeah.
With Hardcore Holly, I thought he should have won this one because
he's
watching the old school Tough Enough episodes,
what he did to the Tough Enough kid, what he did to Rene Dupree, just all the backstage bullying.
I heard him and Chris Benoit were like the biggest dicks in the locker room.
Like, I don't know, man. I felt like Hardcore Holly was more of a bully, but with Bully Ray too, like he even had a lot of incidents as well. I will say I do agree with the Click being fourth place on that one because they're more politicking than bullying, I feel like. And in the business, everybody's politicking.
Yep.
But I don't know. I felt like Hardcore Holly's the biggest bully.
Politicking in pro wrestling, not even just WWE, like that's gonna be a thing for as long as pro wrestling is a thing. It's never gonna change.
Yeah, absolutely. But I understand why JBL won. But yeah, so this week, guys, for the power of the poll, JBL wins by a landslide. He is the biggest bully in professional wrestling, apparently. But next week, if you guys do want to go vote on the next power of the poll, which will be up tomorrow on Thursday, you can go do that now, because what we're going to do is myself, Danny, and Ben, and either Phil or Ricky, we are all going to pick our favorite WrestleMania, and we're going to let you guys vote which one out of the four is the best. So, with that being said now, guys, we got a lot of things to talk about when it comes to the We Are Wrestling Weekly TV Recap. Because there's not a lot of news this week, but a lot of things happened on SmackDown. A lot of things happened during AEW Dynasty, and of course Monday Night Raw. So we're going to be covering a lot of it today. So pretty much this is like a review episode.
What's going on, Josh?
You would think with it being this close to WrestleMania that there'd be more like news, things or whatever that are coming out, but it's very slow, surprisingly, this close to WrestleMania.
Well, the TV recaps are definitely outweighing the news. So, starting things off, on SmackDown, Rey Fenix made his official WWE debut. What's your thoughts on the debut?
I liked it. Honestly, I was both shocked and impressed of how invested I was in the match. I thought immediately, I'm like, there's gonna be comparisons to his brother. There's gonna I am also guilty of talking shit that I didn't think he was gonna succeed. Even a smidge close to Penta, but I watched the whole thing. I watched the behind the scenes with him. The dude is beyond grateful to fucking be where he's at. the dude is a fucking king in the ring. The dude is ridiculous. Like, particularly the flawless adios fucking amigo move that he does off the top rope, where he fucking runs on the rope and then just fucking straight up kicks the dude in the
I
face.
fucking love that move.
Shit is fucking so peak. It's ridiculous. Dude has aura. I'm really, really excited for where, the heights he's going to climb in SmackDown, because the dude is a hell of a performer. Obviously, with, same thing with Penta, if we can get past the barrier and get to, a spot in the language barrier where we can, at least get these points across, in which they're already on a really good track there, both of them. I think that keeping them on separate brands was a fucking amazing decision by whoever decided it.
I agree with that.
Yeah, dude, I think that him and Penta both have a wild career ahead of them in WWE.
Alrighty, what about you, Danny? What's your thoughts on Rey Fenix's debut?
You could definitely tell he was nervous. You know what I mean? He didn't do anything like too crazy and too flashy. And like, this is coming from like, obviously I have more experience with him as well as Penta from like, their AEW stuff or whatever. And I have seen Penta in Lucha Underground as well. So you could tell he was nervous, kind of like, when Penta first debuted or whatever. You could tell how nervous he was to be there. He was like excited but nervous at the same time. He wanted to make a good impression, didn't want to do anything to screw up or whatever. And sometimes when you get that in your mind, like, it can sort of like fuck with you a little bit.
Wait, real quick before you continue, I don't remember which legend said it, but like, doesn't like, I think being nervous, especially like either when you're returning from an injury or like making a debut, like if you're not nervous, then like you don't love what you're doing. I think Mickey James said it on LFG.
Exactly. But like when you're nervous or whatever, like you think about every little move that you're going to make or whatever. And if you're thinking about something too hard, like, there's a potential
it can
that
come back to bite you.
Exactly.
You can jinx yourself, so to speak.
I could not think of a better opponent to have him in the ring with than Nathan Frazier. I think Nathan Frazier is fucking phenomenal. I think him and Axiom are probably the best tag team in WWE currently. And I do think they're going to be getting the call up to the main roster very, very soon because they need it. We saw it with Axiom when I think he faced he faced Gunther, I think, didn't he? On one of the UK Raws or whatever. And we just saw Nathan Frazier against Rey Fenix. Both phenomenal talents. I will say, I don't like Rey Fenix's theme music. Like at the beginning when it was like Animo, like it sounded so similar to fucking Logan Paul's. It took me a minute to be like, wait, what the fuck? Like I didn't know it was him coming out. Like
that's
I don't
the Def
like
Rebel effect right there.
I don't like Rey Fenix's theme music. Like if we can fix his theme music or whatever. Like the rest of his presentation, flawless. But his theme music, I'm not vibing with.
Were sick.
I'm not vibing with. He needs sort of a similar kind of theme or whatever as Penta has. Different, obviously, so you can tell them apart, but similar in a lot of ways. So I don't like his theme music, whatever. His debut was flawless. I'm really looking forward to seeing what he does, man. Because he is like this modern day Rey Mysterio. Remember how flashy Rey Mysterio was back in like 2002 when he first came in. So I'm looking forward to seeing what him and Penta do. And if we ever get like a heel Penta versus Rey Fenix feud, I mean, bro, that shit'll cook, man.
Money right there.
Money.
I will say this. I 1000% agree with Ben when it comes to separating Rey Fenix and Penta. Best decision they could have made. Easily, hands down. Because you definitely want to build their own identities before we do team them up together, which I do hope. I think a few episodes back, Ben and I were both saying it. Like, we kind of want Rey Fenix and Penta to kind of do their own thing maybe for a couple of years, and then they can team together. And I think the first time we get that interaction between the two should be at the Royal Rumble. Entrant 1 and Entrant 2. But I will say, with Rey Fenix, I've always known he is a great professional wrestler because he's always been better in the ring than his brother Penta. But the only thing that kind of scared me was the aura, which Rey Fenix does have, but he doesn't have as much as his brother Penta. And I do think WWE, with the way that they're presenting both Rey and Penta, I will say I was wrong about Rey Fenix. I think that he looked really good. And I think that separating the two, definitely a great decision. I could see Rey Fenix winning the United States Championship, probably. I could definitely see Penta winning the IC title. And I will say, man, because in AEW, they did a lot of the crazy spots, and it does seem like WWE is allowing them to do it to a certain extent. And they are veterans in the business. I've been following both of their careers going all the way back to Impact Wrestling. So, like, honestly, I'm really happy that I was wrong, and I hope that Rey Fenix does continue this momentum more than 3 weeks.
Just change his theme music and he'll be good.
I agree. And a bunch of the Maniacs here in the live chat all agree here. So nice seeing a clip of him getting emotional. You could tell he wanted to be in WWE. Phoenix, future U.S. champ. Josh Toy Show. Phoenix is going to be a star in WWE. I see very high potential in him. And I think Angelo here said it best. If you're not nervous, you don't care. It's normal. But I think we're all happy with Rey Fenix's debut, and hopefully he does have a very successful run in the WWE, which apparently, according to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Phoenix's first program/rivalry is going to be with Andrade. How do you guys feel about this?
That's going to cook, man.
I mean, I think that's like what Danny said. I think it's gonna cook, especially. I mean, if they're gonna be turning Andrade heel, like it's gonna cook. Because Rey Fenix is not gonna be fucking heel, and Andrade's already trying to lure everybody that's a part of fucking Legado back to where he's at. It is inevitable that something's going down. But if that's going to be his first program, dude, it's going to be a banger. There's nobody better than Andrade to have as a first, storyline feud. I think that starting him off there is going to put credibility for both of them, and it's going to project. It's not going to hurt either way. I think we're going to be getting an amazing series of matches with them. I'm excited.
I really do think that it will benefit both of them, and I think that they both will absolutely cook. And I'm sure on the main roster we'll probably get a Tony Fumble chant. We've got it on NXT, so now we're going to translate from NXT to the main roster, which will be kind of funny.
And like Andrade, the dude dresses to the nine all the time, and he works good in the ring. Like, he's a very hard hitter. You can tell how serious he takes this. And I think him and Rey Fenix put on some bangers, bro. If you give these guys, 10, 15 minutes to go out in that ring, I guarantee you it'll be a 5-star classic. I guarantee it.
Oh, absolutely. And Retro Gamer here says, I'm excited for that. It's going to be straight Lucha Libre match. Their feet are hardly going to touch the mat. And I definitely agree. So let's hope that these two absolutely cook. But moving on now to some sad news here. On SmackDown, Kevin Owens revealed that he's been dealing with a serious neck injury and will go undergo surgery, which means his match with Randy Orton is off. So, who should Randy Orton face at WrestleMania 41 now?
Aleister Black, 100%. I mean, the dude's going to have fucking Cody return pop, dude. I mean, if you can pull that trigger at Mania, which is going to be the biggest stage of them all for his return, dude, you're making a fucking star right there. And against Randy Orton of all fucking people, dude, bring Aleister Black in as a fucking face, bring him back in as a heel. It's going to work either fucking way, dude. And I'm really excited for it, dude. Really excited. Just because I feel like he's too good for a SmackDown after. I think he's too good for it. I think the dude is just... He deserves this level of stardom. And then, I would rather him be the person than somebody else and have it be lukewarm, like a fucking flash in the pan. At least with Aleister Black, there is potential to be a massive feud down the line. And Randy Orton's going to make him look like a fucking $1 million. And it's going to look great on Aleister Black.
Alrighty, what about you, Danny? What do you think?
Before I finish... I'm fucking off. I feel awful for Kevin Owens. And I just want to put to bed, it's not going to be 2 to 5 fucking years. I could see 2 years max, depending on the severity of the surgery and depending on the recovery and how well or spot on that goes. Ben is going to hate your option, Donnie. Oh, of course I'm going to hate it. But I think that if he came back to SmackDown after WrestleMania, I feel like that would be a better spot for him. If I'm going to adjust the elephant.
Wait, real quick, Danny. Do you think it's going to be Aleister Black, or do you think it's going to be who I think? Because maybe I should give my thoughts, and then you can kind of
ain't gonna be fucking Rusev.
Intervene.
Fuck.
See, it's very tricky here. You know what I mean?
Because I've been saying,
it,
so
but
the
fuck.
backstory behind all this is, like, in our group chat and even, like, with my live streams and reactions, I've been saying Rusev. That's why I'm, like, mentioning this. But, Danny, I'll let you go.
See, it's a very touchy thing, and you know a lot of people are saying that it's you know Kevin Owens is going to be out 2 to 5 years. It's not. I would say 9 to 12 months. He injured it during a match in January against Jimmy. A lot of people are saying it was against Cody. It wasn't. He landed wrong in the match. He only wrestled twice in January. So it happened in the match with Jimmy. If you go back, you'll probably be able to see the spot that that happened at. It's a very tough thing, man. Like, what I would love it to be Aleister Black, just because, like, I know how good the dude is, and I would love for him to get that WrestleMania moment, that WrestleMania pop or whatever.
Shut
But
up, man.
also,
Agree.
Randy Orton hasn't won a match, and hasn't won a PLE match since he returned from injury in almost 2 years. I don't want to see Aleister Black come back and immediately lose. That's my thing. You know what I mean? Because Randy
So
Orton's
why
gonna
have him
win the
lose?
match regardless.
Well, if there's one person, like, I could see Randy Orton beating at WrestleMania, would be Nick Aldis. Like, if
Yep.
Nick Aldis decided to get in the ring, I could see
I would
him
love
putting
for it to
Randy
be Nick
over.
Aldis. Nick
I would
Aldis,
love that too.
He said in interviews that he's ready to go whenever WWE
I
wants.
would
pull
love
the
that.
trigger.
I love that.
I
And
freaked
it
out,
wouldn't hurt
bro.
him. He could just go right
during
back to
my-
his duties after.
During my SmackDown live stream, when Randy RKO'd Nick Aldis, I was like, oh my god, like, it's official. We're getting Nick Aldis. I even wrote in the group chat literally right after it happened. I was like, it's
Yeah.
official. Nick Aldis versus Randy Orton WrestleMania.
Man, I was hyped, and then then it comes to find out that you fucking lied.
I mean, it still could be nothing is confirmed, bro. Until it's actually confirmed.
which is why I
and
was so
outed.
upset when it comes out it wasn't fucking confirmed. I was so mad at you.
Well, I'm going to upset you guys with my opinion because I still stand by it. I think that it should be Rusev versus Randy Orton at WrestleMania.
He
And
wants
here's
that
why.
fucking Bulgarian bulge.
I wanted
No,
to be
because here's the thing
Miro,
with
not
Aleister
Rusev.
Black.
Fuck Rusev.
I love Aleister Black, and I don't think he doesn't need the rub from Nick Aldis, because here's what I
He needs
want
that
out of this.
WrestleMania rub.
Yes, I do want him to show up at WrestleMania, maybe do something with Karrion Kross. But when it comes to Rusev, here's what I'm looking at it like. I am sick and tired of these general managers, Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce, being twiners. I'm sick of them being the good guys. Like, I miss back in the day when we had Eric Bischoff, we had Vicky Guerrero, we had John Laurinaitis, the character, not the person. I miss I miss a heel general manager. And I think that this is the perfect opportunity to turn Nick Aldis heel. And I think that having him pretty much maybe tease the match with Randy Orton at WrestleMania, I think would be a great way, because this is not the first time he's got hit with an RKO. This is the second time. And Nick Aldis is somebody who, like, my perception of him is he doesn't take shit from anybody. But Adam Pearce is the same way, except he wants to do good. I want to see Nick Aldis take advantage of his power and do bad, which is why I think at WrestleMania, Nick Aldis is going to come out in his wrestling gear, ready to fight Randy, and then, because he has the power, he's going to twist and turn, tell Randy that you're not facing me tonight. And then there comes Rusev, because we already know the reports. Rusev has re-signed with WWE, and let's be real, he has no direction in the WWE. Like, what are they going to do with him? And I think what better way than let him be Nick Aldis' redeemer, let him be his right-hand man. Because then you can start feuds with Braun Strowman and Rusev. You can start feuds with Jacob Fatu and Rusev. And Rusev could kind of be like that big man for Aldis. Well, Aldis is acting like an Eric Bischoff general manager. That's why I think Rusev should get this opportunity, and Aleister Black doesn't need the Nick Aldis rub.
Exactly. And I was thinking about this the other night. I think it was during or after my Monday Night Raw stream. I was thinking, like, what if we ever got to the point? Because I feel like one thing that's missing in WWE currently is like one gigantic, massive story. What if we end up getting like a Raw versus SmackDown kind of story, to where it's like general manager versus general manager, Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis, and ends up leading to like a match between them two at some point?
They really should do that, like Survivor Series or something. I'd be down.
That'd be pretty.
Two
fire,
NWA
Metagrow.
legends. Oh, I'd be totally down for that.
That would be pretty fire, bro. And you can have like Raw superstars invading SmackDown and like taking out SmackDown guys, and then vice versa. And like,
I mean, if we got fucking Teddy Long versus Eric Bischoff, I don't see why we wouldn't get that match.
that would bring a lot of excitement, a lot of attention to WWE, even more so now because it'd give a lot of us, especially if you do like podcasting or any kind of content creation, like today, like we're talking a lot about news recaps or whatever, but there's nothing like really like newsworthy really talking about. But like if something like that happened, I mean, there'd be a lot to be talking about.
I think we can all agree on this at least. Randy Orton, they need to do like the mystery thing. Because I think regardless if it's Aleister Black, Rusev, whoever it is, it's going to be a surprise. And I think that that's going to be really cool for WrestleMania. Because especially with the card being a little lackluster.
Yeah.
I don't even fucking.
I feel like this Mania is gonna cook, but it's not. It's definitely not in the same realm as WrestleMania 40. WrestleMania 40 was like a fucking experience. This is just, I don't know. There was just something.
Filler.
Yeah, like I think it's gonna be a good show, and it's gonna be an entertaining show, and we're gonna see a lot of stuff that we're not even thinking about right now. But as far as like hype, like last year they had the Vegas press conference between The Rock and Roman and Cody and. The Rock, dismantling Cody in the parking lot, bloodying him outside his tour bus. And, you had Cody finishing his story. Like last year was an experience. We're not even close to matching what happened last year.
Oh man, I do like my heart does break for Kevin Owens though, like missing out on this WrestleMania because like with him and Randy, like the feud has been built up to this. And then him kind of breaking character, like having to announce like the surgery. That sucks for any performer.
I'm pretty sure if he was able to compete and get through WrestleMania, he 100% would have.
But looks like all the Maniacs here are all going back and forth here. We got some people thinking that it's going to be Rusev. Some people agree with Ben, with Aleister Black, since the vignettes, they're pointing to him. And remember, Randy got fined $50K, but Randy gave him $100K and said that's for next time. And that's like why I'm kind of leaning towards Rusev, because like all this is going to get tired of like taking shit from Randy. But we're just going to have to wait and see what happens there. I just think even if it is Aleister Black, I will be very excited because I think no matter what, like it's going to work. I just want to heal all this. But moving on now to our next TV recap. On SmackDown, it was announced that LA Knight will be defending the U.S. title against Jacob Fatu. What's your thoughts on this?
Banger. I mean, it's a fucking banger made in heaven. I mean, we've got a fucking U.S. title match at WrestleMania, and I mean, like, it's not a lackluster pairing at all. I mean, we've all fucking two superstars that are on each end of a spectrum of heel and face that are over as fuck with the crowd. It's gonna be a fucking banger, dude. I'm excited for this match. We haven't predicted WrestleMania yet, but I don't think Jacob's winning just based on, where him and Solo stand. I don't think that it's gonna be. I think that's where we're gonna get the big reveal that Solo is 100% against Jacob, and there's gonna be a whole huge thing about it, dude. And I'm very excited for that. But the match itself is gonna be fucking insane. And I haven't been this excited for a U.S. title match at Mania in this long. This is one of the matches I'm genuinely looking forward to. And I'm assuming it's going to be night one.
I love that Jacob Fatu is getting this opportunity. But what's your thoughts, Danny?
Same.
Again, just like Ben said, I think it's going to be a banger. You can't have Jacob Fatu in the ring with anybody and have it be a bad match. Like,
yep.
He's just one of those guys that, you put him in the ring with somebody, it's going to be a fucking banger, 100%. And I've been predicting for a while, give it 3 years, Jacob Fatu will be main eventing WrestleMania World Heavyweight Champion. I guarantee it. But again, I don't think he's gonna win because we still haven't really settled things between him and Solo. I do think Solo screws Jacob out of the U.S. title or whatever, and that's gonna lead to maybe a match at Backlash between Solo and Jacob. But I think it's gonna be a good match, and I will say within the next 6 months, Jacob Fatu will have a title of some sort.
Of course.
Man, this is one where
needs this too. Sorry.
Yep.
I am really contemplating here because there's two scenarios that are running through my head. One of them, Angelo here in the live chat, just said, I could see Jacob winning and then down the line, Solo screws him on purpose or accident and have Jacob lose to like an Aleister Black. I could definitely see a scenario there where like Solo doesn't turn on Jacob at Mania because maybe he wants the United States title, and what better way than to stab Jacob in the back when he least expects it. But then again, scenario number 2, LA Knight just won the championship. I don't think we want him to be a transitional champion. No. And this is one of those situations where I'm looking forward to the match, but at the same time, it's a lose-lose situation for both guys because LA Knight lost a lot of momentum losing that US belt. And now that he just got it back, and they're actually using him now, letting him wrestle, like, him losing the title to, like, Jacob would suck, but then again, like, Jacob taking a pinfall would suck as well. Because you want to protect him at all costs.
Yep.
But, I don't know. I think I'm leaning more towards probably Solo costing Jacob the U.S. title so that LA Knight can continue to be champion while Jacob and Solo can have that feud going into Backlash.
You also have to look at it from the fact that Solo Sikoa has yet to have a singles title himself, in WWE. So with him going at it with Jacob backstage and like all the things we've been seeing on TV, why is he gonna allow Jacob to win a singles title before him? You know what I mean? So it's gonna be that jealousy factor.
Well, to be fair, Solo did win the North American title, but I know not main roster.
Main roster.
Hey, NXT's
he's been on the main roster
bitch.
for like 3 years and he hasn't won a title yet. So why is he gonna allow Jacob to win the U.S. title when he hasn't won the title yet? You know what I mean? He's going to be jealous. He's going to be like, I can't allow this to happen. You're supposed to work for me. I'm not working for you. You're not going to win the title before me.
I will say, I do agree with like Ben when it comes to like the match being a banger because it's also going to be very unpredictable. And who knows, maybe my opinion does change next Wednesday on the live episode of the podcast when we go over our predictions. Because both guys, like, it's gonna benefit somebody, and then the other it's not gonna benefit, and it can go either way.
100%.
But moving on now to another WrestleMania match that was announced on SmackDown. Jade Cargill will be facing Naomi at WrestleMania 41. What's your thoughts on this?
It's not a fucking Mania level match, dude. Like, this is no. Like, it should have been Bianca. That would have been a Mania event level match, but this is not a Mania level match. I don't know who thought it fucking was. I don't know why it even exists right now. I don't have anything to say about it. So, I mean, you guys talk amongst yourselves.
I'm probably going to keep it short and sweet as well. I'll just give my thoughts, Danny, and then you can go. I feel so bad for Naomi here because Jade Cargill, I don't know if she's ready yet to perform in a singles match on the biggest stage of them all. Same. She is greener than grass. And this is an AEW where it's a 3-minute squash match. This is WrestleMania. You're performing in front of almost 100,000 people in a fucking stadium. I don't think she's ready for this. I feel so bad for Naomi.
19 years, dude, and that's what's sad. The build has been solid. I will agree with you there, Aya. But, for the first non-women's title match on Mania in almost 20 fucking years, this is kind of sad that this is what it is.
Like, the storyline is there, but, like, because Naomi is so talented and she's doing a great job at this heel run that, like, Jade's gonna fucking ruin it for her if she puts on a bad match, and I don't want that.
I don't want that for her either.
Because Naomi is, like, since coming back, like, going to TNA, like, she has been a whole nother animal in WWE.
I wouldn't say that yet, James. It's too soon to jump the gun and say that. But I will.
I don't think so. I don't think she regrets leaving TNA because she has been on television regularly since coming back to WWE.
And she's traveling with her husband. I mean, there's not much.
And PLEs too. There. She's wrestling on. I think Naomi is very happy with her decision so far.
Yeah, but the story is lackluster, and it's just unfortunate she has to be intertwined with that legacy of Jade Cargill's.
What's your thoughts, Danny, on this?
I actually talked about it a little bit on Monday on my Monday Night Raw stream, and I made it short about it. I think the build has been pretty solid, and that's coming from me, somebody that's been very vocal about their distaste for Jade Cargill. She was. I disliked her in AEW. I dislike her now. The thing with her stint in AEW is Tony Khan hid a lot of her flaws, and hiding her flaws or whatever. WWE.
I can't believe he was actually able to do that.
WWE wasn't privy to that information or whatever,
Right.
and they just trotted her out there like she was the next coming of fucking China, which didn't end up. She was all over ESPN. And I told you guys when she signed to the WWE, I was like, it's going to be a train wreck, and you guys were like, no, she's a star.
Well, we're seeing the benefit of the doubt.
We're seeing the aftermath now. I think the build has been solid primarily because I feel like this is the best work Naomi's done since she's come back to WWE. And I do feel like she'll work with Jade to put on a solid match. Do I think it needs to be on Mania? No. But I'm not going to judge it too harshly, and that's mainly because I feel like this is the best character work that Naomi's doing, in her entire WWE run, even when she first came into the company. Like that promo that she had with Bianca several weeks back, whatever, where she was legitimately crying and they had that
So
back and
good.
forth, whatever. Like that was solid.
Facts,
her new ring
Oh, I
gear, or
agree with
whatever,
I
with the
on that.
caution tape.
Oh my
I mean,
goodness.
I honestly feel like if this match cooks, it's 100% going to be Naomi.
I do want to acknowledge this comment here
got you,
from Aya. Her attitude is trash too. She's not talented and she's rude.
Facts.
And that's coming from somebody who has met her at Fanatic Fest.
Money pig.
Yep.
So I mean,
She wanted to use wrestling for acting.
If this-
That's what she wants.
if this
Yep.
match is at least halfway decent, I mean, I feel like majority of the credit needs to go to Naomi because she's doing the best work for her career.
Yep, and I just hope that Jade doesn't fucking ruin it for her. Prayers for Naomi in the live chat. But moving on now to our next TV recap. The Favor has been revealed. CM Punk wants the wise man, Paul Heyman, to be in his corner at WrestleMania. What's your thoughts on The Favor?
It's fucking stupid. It's lukewarm. It's lackluster as fuck, and this is not one of those. But here's the thing: it's fucking long-term storytelling and mind games. Like no fucking shit, but it is fucking bland. And you had people waiting for that, something that they already saw coming. Like no, dude, no. It's fucking stupid. It's
I
so
knew it was
fucking
gonna be.
stupid.
I knew it was gonna be something like that.
It's
Like
stupid.
Heyman
as
does not have the
fuck.
power to get him a world title match and to put him in
You
the fucking
had
title
a fucking.
match.
But you had something interesting going, and that's what you give us. It's fucking stupid. I know that the magic's gonna happen at Mania, but dude, that favor is so stupid. It's so stupid. Just to disarm Roman Reigns. That's it. That's all you got. It's
I'm
stupid.
I'm kind of in the minority here because I
course.
actually really love that what they're doing. Because when you really think about it, like
I ain't no cult member.
Roman was pretty
sheep.
mediocre until he aligned himself with Paul Heyman. You know what I
Betray
mean?
them both and go with Seth.
And I feel like Paul Heyman is really what like motivated Roman to really like get to the heights of his career that he's at currently. And when you like he spent 5 years, one of the most prolific title reigns in history with Paul Heyman by his side, and now he has to win this match, which could potentially lead to maybe a number one contenders match down the line for the WWE title. Roman has to do it by himself. But we don't even know where Paul Heyman's allegiance stands. Like, is it going to be solely with Punk, or is he going to be with Roman as well? Like, what if the referee's down and Punk, asks, Paul to hand him a chair or whatever so he can take out Roman? Is he going to do it? Or what, vice versa? What if Roman asks for Paul's help? Is he going to do it?
Nope.
Is Paul Heyman going to end up turning on Punk and Roman and going with Seth?
Time out. See, this is where you're blending two topics that could have been together. So we were talking about the favor and how we felt about it. We have another topic that's going to follow up with Seth and his favor. So let's keep that line in between. So
yeah,
what
but
did you
it's
think
the
about
same.
the favor?
It's the same thing though.
So why didn't we put those topics together?
Well, we might as well. I could do that
Okay,
right now.
but there you go.
Well, guys, with the TV recap, we might as well talk about it as well, which we will get into the Seth Rollins favor with Paul Heyman in just a moment, because now that you guys shared your thoughts on the favor, I do want to share my thoughts on it. And I kind of have to agree with Danny on this one, which is a very rare case. But the reason I have to agree is I knew the favor wasn't going to be this big thing where, CM Punk's going to get thrown into the Gunter Jey Uso match, or, he's going to get thrown in or, like, have a match against John Cena or Cody, whoever wins that match. Because, like, I don't think Paul Heyman has that power to, like, give, like a free Money in the Bank contract. I don't think so.
If he did, he would have got Roman his rematch.
But here's why I love the favor being this. Having Paul Heyman by CM Punk's side and not Roman's, because it's going to throw Roman off. Because Roman's going into this WrestleMania, and he always has his wise man by his corner. And for the first time ever, he doesn't. And I do love the fact that all of this is happening because it's going to lead to what I've been saying for the last couple weeks with Seth Rollins. Which now we can get into. So, let me scroll down here real quick. On Monday Night Raw, Seth Rollins almost curve stomped Paul Heyman and told him, "You owe me a favor." So, do you think we could actually see Paul Heyman turn on Roman or CM Punk? Let my prediction come to fruition.
Yep.
I think it's definitely a possibility. You know what I mean? And like it gives it that unpredictability factor of like, it was like you don't know what's gonna happen. You know, like we have an idea, whatever, but like we might all be wrong. It might be something bigger. You know, I will never doubt, especially if it involves Paul Heyman, because like he is the master storyteller that he is. You know, Paul Heyman is legitimate. Like if GOAT is legitimately a thing, like his face needs to be in the fucking dictionary. You know what I mean? So I will never don't underestimate like the power of what he can do when it comes to like, you know, telling a really good, authentic story. So, I mean, like we could talk all day until we're blue in the face. Like, is, you know, Paul going to be solely with Punk or is he end up going to turning on Punk and, you know, aligning himself with Roman or aligning himself with Seth? Like, we don't know like that. And that's like, you know, the beauty of being, you know, invested in a Paul Heyman story.
I'm going to tell you this right now. This is the match that I'm looking forward to the most. This is, to me, the biggest WrestleMania-worthy match on the card. Hands down. And I cannot wait until Paul Heyman swerves everybody and he turns on Roman and CM Punk. Because, I don't know, this past Monday, I just watched the segment before we got on to the live episode, which the reaction will probably be up later on tonight. And I don't know, I think Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman are all in cahoots. And the reason I say that is, if Seth Rollins wasn't working with Paul, he would have hit him with that curve stomp.
Yep. Now you owe me a favor.
And I think that it's all part of the manipulation, because if you think about it, he gave him a little tap on the cheek. And it kind of baited CM Punk to come out to the ring and then get curve stomped by Rollins. I think it's all a part of the plan. I think Seth Rollins, he's going to weasel his way out of this match, and I think that this is going to start the next program, and I think it's going to be mainly Roman versus Seth going all the way to SummerSlam.
I could definitely 100% see that.
Because I think Roman's going to be more shocked than CM Punk. And then maybe Paul Heyman aligns himself also with Braun Breaker, because he's had multiple clients before. So there you go. You could have Braun Breaker and CM Punk work together after Mania. But anything good happened though with this triple threat, which I think to me is what makes it very unpredictable. It does make it pretty fun.
I feel like this is like the one match on Mania or whatever that's very like unpredictable. Like you don't know which way it's gonna go. You know what I mean? Because I could see either any one of these guys winning. You know, I could see Roman winning. I could see CM Punk winning. I could see Seth winning. Like, we don't know. Like, Cody and CM, like, Cena, like, we pretty much have a good idea of the way that's going. Jey Uso versus Gunther, we know where that's going, you know. But this match is, like, the one match on the card that, like, I have no fucking clue. Like, we can speculate, but I have no idea. And that's the beauty of why I love being a pro wrestling fan.
So, okay, so the last question I'm going to ask you guys, simple yes or no. does Paul Heyman help Seth Rollins at WrestleMania?
Yep.
I don't know.
I think he's gonna. So, moving on now to some AEW Dynasty stuff that happened in our TV recap. At AEW Dynasty, FTR turned heel and attacked Adam Copeland after losing their match against the Death Riders for the trio titles. What's your thoughts on the heel turn and the segment?
No clue. I didn't watch it. I don't really watch AEW. I never give a fuck about FTR. At this point, it's like, bro just went to AEW to go get abused by his best friends, it looks like. That's literally what it looks like. He just went over there to go get ass beatings for being in WWE from his best friends. That's literally what the fuck it looked like. So I don't know, man. I again, talk amongst yourselves. I have no thoughts on it.
I actually really like this because I do think it was a good way to write Adam off of TV for a little bit. And heel FTR is always, a good time on television as long as Tony Khan, can actually, book a proper story. And I do think it's going to lead to Adam Copeland and Christian reuniting at All In against FTR.
I was going to say, I do feel like we are going to finally get that Christian Cage and Adam Copeland reunion, because I think like that match is money right there. Think about it. The reason why they're writing Adam Copeland off of TV is because they want to wait to have Christian and Adam together for the first time ever. And what better place to do it than Arlington, Texas at their biggest show, All In. I thought Christian was going to show up then. Ben doesn't care about any AEW topics unless it involves Mercedes Monday. But no, I will say though, when it's all said and done, like, I do like this a lot because FTR has been so boring for the last year. And, like, finally getting to see, like, Cash just be a jackass, like, putting on, like, the neck brace and then, like, jumping onto the stretcher and then jumping off of it. Like, man, this is what FTR has been missing for a long, long time. And I think them going against Adam Copeland and Christian is going to be huge.
Yeah, it's going to be big, man, because when was the last time Adam and Christian teamed up? It had to be, like, the early 2000s, right?
Very long time, I think so.
Lovely things about it, crazy.
No, it's gonna be like, I mean, I feel like that match alone is gonna fucking, is gonna sell tickets because people are gonna want to see the reunion that, everybody has been wanting for over 20 years. You know what I mean? And I liked how they did it too. It looked like Cash was, helping Adam up or whatever. And then, he just, put him into the Shatter Machine, took him out, and then they did the concerto.
They did a good job on the tease, like with Dax and Cash.
I liked how they set it up, and it is setting the story very nicely as long as Tony Khan can stay the course. My only question is, how does Christian get involved in this whole thing? Does FTR end up taking him out too? Does he end up confronting them or congratulating them on what they did to Adam, and then they end up taking them out like backstage? Like, how
I will say, here's what I think, Danny, real quick, just to keep things short and quick here. I think that Nick Wayne and Killswitch, they're gonna turn on, I think, Christian, and that's when he's gonna get kind of lost in the shuffle. FTR is gonna try to bring Christian in, and then Christian's gonna get the massive pop when he hits him with the Killswitch.
I want to see that.
But yeah, Ben, they love your Mercedes Moné picture here.
Nathan Manko is saying, I don't know, Donnie, I don't know if you can confirm this, but they're saying that the last time Edge and Christian teamed up was WrestleMania 17, 2001. The TLC 2.
I wish I can confirm that, but I can't. So if somebody in the live chat can,
right now.
Ben's going to do that right now. And honestly, that works out, Ben doing the research, because we do have another Dynasty topic.
Because I know WrestleMania, the following WrestleMania 18, they were both in singles matches. And
I do know that because they broke up around like 2001, I think.
Yep.
Because I remember Rebellion, the cage match. But moving on now, Ben gets the information there. At AEW Dynasty, Adam Cole defeated Daniel Garcia to become the new TNT champion. What's your thoughts on this?
That is 100% confirmed.
Okay.
100% confirmed. WrestleMania
That is
17.
That was the last time that they teamed together,
Wow.
but they briefly made a reunion for Edge's departure when he retired. That was the only time they teamed back up together, and they didn't wrestle. But the last time that they teamed up and wrestled together was 2001.
That is absolutely mind blowing to me. I don't know why. It just
That is crazy. That is a very long time. Holy shit. Wow. Well,
Byron
Danny, what's your
Cutler
thoughts
thinks
on
Danny Huckins
Adam
has a lot of
Cole
aura.
winning the TNT belt?
I like it, and this is Adam Cole's first time winning a singles title in AW, I believe. In 4 years or whatever, however long he's actually been in the company. Daniel Garcia, like I was happy when he won the title, but then I found out he didn't do anything with it, and he was just fucking holding it for whatever reason. He was taken off of TV shortly after and just making sporadic appearances, not really doing anything.
Well, that
I
right
kinda
there
gave
is
up.
creative fault.
I kind of gave up on Daniel Garcia. And Adam Cole, I mean, he was a killer in NXT Black and Gold, and if he has the same mindset and sort of is that same pro wrestler that he was back then in AEW, I feel like he can do some good stuff. But again, it's all about what Tony Khan wants to do on a random Wednesday. Does he want to book him, or does he want to keep him off TV for 6 months? We don't fucking know.
Angelo here says, sad for Garcia. I cannot believe it. Did Garcia hold the title for 8 months, or am I wrong? You are wrong.
No, he didn't.
I believe it was 5 months. He won it in November at Full Gear.
Yep, and he defended it like twice, I think.
I will say this. I like the move, Adam Cole winning the championship. I think that it does need a fresh start, and I do feel bad for Daniel Garcia because I do think that 1,000% it's AEW's fault when it's all said and done. With his lack of title run, he should have defended it and had a program going into Revolution, but they didn't do anything there. I will say with Daniel Garcia though, I do hope that they kind of rebuild him during this. And I think Adam Cole winning the TNT title is the right move because we have seen there's 2 different times where Adam Cole was supposed to win the AEW World Championship, but then at the worst possible time, the man got injured. He was out. And I think that didn't really help him. So I think trying to prove that he could be a reliable guy, let him hold the TNT title and see what he does.
Yeah, maybe.
Which I do like, but we're going to have to wait and see. Moving on now to our last AEW Dynasty TV recap here. And then, Ben, you can get back into the conversation. At AEW Dynasty, the Young Bucks returned and attacked Swerve Strickland to help Jon Moxley retain the world title. What's your thoughts on the Young Bucks' return?
I'm surprised
Fucking
that the one
trash.
thing about the return that's missing is Homeboy's bandana.
He said, I can see your forehead.
Yep. Shit was shining bright for them. The future was shining as bright as that man's dome piece that night.
Thank you, Ben, for your take on that one.
Welcome.
What's your thoughts, Daddy?
I think it was fucking trash, to be honest with you. Like the last time we saw the Young Bucks, that Moxley and them were chasing them out of the arena, and they were fucking, they left Brandon Cutler to fucking get his hand broken. And now they're back to help Moxley retain the world title. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And the Death Riders have been pretty much the death of AW the last 6 months or so. We haven't seen the title on TV since October.
I don't like that part of it.
We need to get the title off. That should be the main priority of Tony Khan. Get the title off Moxley. Kill the Death Rider story 100% completely. Get them the fuck out.
Well, I'm sorry to tell you this, Danny, but that's not happening until All In.
And that's exactly why I stopped covering AW on my channel. I have not went live for AW since Dynasty. I'll watch the pay-per-views, but I will not watch the weekly show live. I just won't do it. Because if I feel like the show is horrible and I want to shut it off, I want to be able to do so.
I respect that. But I will say...
I live for this.
I will say this. I already know the end goal here. with Jon Moxley's title run. I think Will Ospreay's winning that Owen Hart Cup, and he's going to be the one to take the title off of Jon Moxley and save AEW. And I think that we're going to go into a new era when that happens. And I think Will Ospreay is the right guy to do it. I will say, one thing that really did interest me wasn't the Young Bucks at all during this. It was Hangman Adam Page trying to help Swerve, which we've never seen before. So I could possibly see now, going into All In, Hangman Adam Page and Swerve teaming up to go against the Young Bucks, possibly. But here's what I was hoping.
Did you hear the other rumor though?
Wait, but here's what I'm hoping, Danny. Before you do share that rumor, and I don't know how Ben feels about this, but honestly, I feel like if you want to get people excited about the Death Riders, at least until AEW All In, instead of having the Young Bucks show up here and cost Swerve, they should have had Eddie Kingston pull up and friggin' cost them. Because Eddie Kingston has that history with Jon Moxley. Yeah, he doesn't get along with Pac and Claudio, but the history with him and Jon Moxley, they could have made a great angle there because Swerve is being called the most dangerous wrestler in AEW. So what they could have done there, Eddie Kingston, he believes he's the most dangerous wrestler. Because you know how Eddie Kingston is, he's a shoot guy. And you could have definitely had a great program with him and Swerve for a couple of months going into it. And I think that having the Young Bucks help him, huge missed opportunity here. They missed the bullseye.
100%. I don't think Eddie Kingston is ready to come back. He's still very much into rehab or whatever, and he had some kind of a setback. I'm not sure what it is, but he's not going to be back for quite a while still. But the latest rumor that I heard is Tony Khan is waiting for Darby Allin to come back from Mount Everest, plant the flag for AEW on the mountain or whatever, and he has eyes set on Darby Allin beating Jon Moxley for the World Heavyweight title. If that happens,
the way you said plant the flag got
there's
me.
going to be a lot of people upset because Darby Allin, like, I can't buy into it. I love Darby. He's fucking phenomenal. I just can't buy it.
I'm sorry, but if there's anybody that would want Darby Allin to take the world championship from, it's MJF with the headlock takeover. Like, that's been the whole thing between Darby and MJF's feud. And I think if you give MJF the championship, he could beat Will Ospreay, like, maybe going like the end of the year, going into next year. And then MJF can go on a little run, but then you could have Darby Allin pull an upset. Like, that's how I would do it. But I do agree the championship does have to get off Mox ASAP, and I think that All In is a very long time, and I think Eddie Kingston being hurt is really affecting the Death Riders and people being interested. Because I think there's only one person that can make that whole thing interesting, and it's Eddie Kingston.
Because I mean, they have him and Moxley, like, they were teaming up for a long time.
Yep,
they're like legitimate best friends, like outside of AEW or whatever. So I mean, it would have been perfect for him to come back or whatever, and slap the taste out of Moxley, and like that would have been a hell of a story you could have told. And like, I mean, depending on how his rehab's coming, depending on when Eddie Kingston can come back, I could see that happening. But I mean, bro, we need to get that title off Moxley soon because it's just fucking not doing anything positive for the AEW products.
Maybe we'll see the Young Bucks on Saturday. Maybe they won't wear their headbands for Ben.
You better wear your sunglasses because their foreheads will be shining bright. Great deal.
All right, well, moving on now to some WWE news. Now, Ben, you're back in the fold.
Back in the saddle again.
Welcome back. All right, well, on Raw, it was announced that Rey Mysterio will be facing El Grande Americano at WrestleMania 41. What's your thoughts on this?
What a waste of a fucking match. What a waste of a fucking match, dude. Like, it's almost insulting. Like, with the heat that we've been fucking getting with WWE, like, how great they've been, dude. Like, it's literally so fucking stupid. Like, it's so fucking stupid. Like, I don't even want to talk about it, dude. I don't. But, like, you just fucking say it's Chad Gable versus fucking Rey Mysterio if you really want to fucking do something. But, like, dude, this whole storyline is fucking stupid. Like, this is something that Vince would have done. Like, then I hate that we're fucking doing anything like this. Like, there's no. What's the payoff for this?
This
the
has
big
Bruce
picture?
Pritchard written all over it.
Like, you're talking about,
1000%.
we don't have a lot of spots, on the WrestleMania card for all these people, but it's like, bro, I could find a million fucking people that would have been deserving of this waste ass, piss ass fucking match that you're putting on for no fucking reason that literally nobody wants to say. Nobody wants
Shout
to see.
out to the Geek Box in the chat, man. He's the one that puts together all those compilations of all the different streamers or whatever doing like their
Hey.
reaction.
Hey, what's going on,
What's going on,
Geekbox?
Geekbox? How you doing?
Hope you're doing good, man.
Welcome, welcome. No, I don't like El Grande. I think it's a waste of
But,
time, man.
I mean,
The one time you think Chad Gable finally gets a singles match at WrestleMania, it's the
Under this
I don't-
stupid moniker.
I don't
yeah.
mind it because Chad Gable, he had a hard time beating all the luchadors or whatever. And the one time that he gets the upper hand, he's wearing a fucking mask and he's a luchador himself.
Of
You know,
course you
so-
don't give a. Of course you fucking love this.
So there's me and
Glad you're doing
Ben
good,
have
man.
me and Ben have a friend Dan Taylor, and he's been getting into pro wrestling.
Gracias!
He joins me for my streams or whatever, and he swears up and down that El Grande Americano is not Chad Gable. He swears up and down.
Wait, no
That's how
way.
you know for a fact he's new to this. That's how you know for a fact he's new to this.
I'm sure Casual Gam thinks that too.
You should have
Y'all are
got Casual
wrong for
Cam's
this.
opinion on this.
It's not Chad. Y'all are fucking wild, man.
I'm
wild.
so mad that finally the one time the dude gets a singles match at WrestleMania,
That's
he has to
Chad
do this
Gable, then I'm a
stupid
fucking
gimmick.
leprechaun.
Fucking stupid.
Oh man. Well, Rey Mysterio, I hope puts over
Bruh.
Chad Gable in this situation, and I hope that he reveals himself as Gable, because I'm sick of this stupid thing. I'm not interested, and I love Chad Gable to death, and I think American Made is good.
Bro, he looks weird as fuck with a fucking luchador mask on.
I
And the
love.
little Texas tassels.
Oh man, that's great. He looks like the Patriot.
What's going on, Destry?
Oh my god! Of course you love it, Daddy. I'm not surprised by that. You enjoying this?
I didn't say I like it. I said he looks weird with a mask on.
You did say you liked it.
You said
I am
you
not
liked it.
deaf.
I
You
said
you
I
liked it, Danny.
I said I don't mind it.
You
It
know-
adds-
I don't know
And-
what's worse, Daddy. You liking Chad Gable's alter ego or 3-minute warning?
Yeah. Yeah. 3-minute warning.
All right,
And-
well,
It adds character depth to Chad Gable, bro. That's all I'm gonna say.
Angelo likes it apparently too.
See, I'm not fucking crazy.
Yeah, you are.
So you admit you do like it? Oh man, we need to clip this.
Next,
Geekbox, you need to clip this for one of your compilations. All right, well, moving on now to a match that I'm actually looking forward to, and I hope you guys are too. On Monday Night Raw, it was announced that Braun Breaker will be defending the IC title against Dirty Dom, Penta, and Finn Balor. What's your thoughts on this?
Banger. This is gonna be a big ass match. I'm stoked for. There's gonna be turmoil and tension. You know that fucking Finn wanted to beat the shit out of Dom on Raw, but he fucking chose. He wanted to raise the title over Dom's head, but chose not to. So you know there's tension there. It's all gonna come unraveling finally at Mania, and I'm assuming by a new member of Judgment Day.
yeah, this match is gonna be a banger, bro. Like
What if
after
it's
we
Braun
saw,
Breaker?
what do you mean?
The only person that Dom unsuccessfully swayed was Penta, so he's not going to be there. So who's this new fucking mystery member of Judgment Day? What if it's Braun Breaker? That's the muscle they're missing.
I don't know, dude. Here's
But then
what I
again,
think
he
is gonna
speared
happen.
the fuck out of Carlito, so I don't know.
Bro,
That spear
oh my
was
God.
A+. One of the
That
best
shit-
spears in all of
Oh,
professional
dude,
wrestling.
it's gonna be
dude.
the most rewatched spear ever, dude. Like that shit was so fucking clean. It was a work of fucking beauty. That dude fucking flew at that man 10 feet away.
Bro,
He
did you hear
jumped
what,
10
did you
feet
hear
away
what
from him
Carlito
and
posted on
flew.
Twitter?
Yeah, dude, his own fucking funeral. He's gonna update us with his funeral services. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he speared the afro off of his fucking head.
Bro, the apple
Speared
went
his ass
flying
all the way
over
back
us
to
into
the
the
Caribbean.
audience.
I'm
That shit
glad
was
that
not
Carlito
fucking
wasn't
cool,
fucking
man.
choking on an apple when he got speared.
Dude, that dude has an
That
apple
was
tree to
great.
take care of.
Could
man.
you
That was
imagine
not
him
fucking cool.
spearing fucking Goldberg?
Oh, I want to see that. I want to see that.
I think everybody wants to see that. But I will say this, dude. I am looking forward to this Fatal 4-Way. I think that this is going to be such a great match.
Fuck yeah, Geekbox.
And that's the thing, like, I do think that Dirty Dom, as of right now, my prediction is Dirty Dom's going to win the championship. He's going to get his WrestleMania moment. And then I think a couple months from now, he will probably be a transitional champion to Penta. Wait, are you reading the Geekbox comment?
Yeah.
Wait, if he'd had an apple in his mouth, it would have shot out of his ass with this spear.
Hell yeah, dude.
But yeah, no, I think Dirty Dom's gonna win, and then that's when Finn's gonna finally betray him.
Shit in the
I'm
face.
with you, Retro.
Bro, like,
Carlito
this
went
is, like,
upside down.
I feel like Braun Breaker is way too big for the Intercontinental title. You know what I mean? Like he needs to be doing so much more. So I could definitely see him losing the title. The only question is, like, to who? I mean, I could see maybe he gets taken out and maybe Dom or Finn's, pin each other. Maybe, like, I don't even know. Like,
I think Dirty Dom's gonna sneak in and he's gonna pin Finn Balor to win the championship, and that's gonna
definitely don't
protect
think Braun
Penta, and that's
Breaker's gonna
also
get-
gonna protect Braun Breaker.
I don't think Braun Breaker is going to get pinned. And the good thing about having a Fatal 4-Way is the fact that you can lose the title but still being protected. You know what I mean?
But
I'm
man,
just
I do
stoked
want
about
Dirty Dom
everybody
to
in
get
it.
this, and I feel like if there's a time and place to actually give this man a singles title, it is WrestleMania, and I think he fucking deserves it with all the reactions he's gotten. He is the best heel right now in all of WWE and all of professional wrestling, actually, and I think that he needs to be rewarded with the IC title, even if it's literally for a couple months as a transitional champ. He deserves it. And I think Eddie Guerrero would be very proud of him. And I'm sure he already is. But with that being said, guys, let's now get into, which we don't have a lot to talk about here, the We Are Wrestling weekly news and rumors. And starting things off, earlier today, WWE has announced legendary superstars Kamala.
Kamala. Carmella. Does that look
Oh
like
my
fucking
God.
Carmella to you?
I'm sorry, I was a little tongue twister. Dory Funk Sr. and Ivan Koloff will enter the WWE Hall of Fame as the 2025 Legacy inductees. What's your thoughts on this new concept?
Interesting.
I don't quite understand it because, I mean, if Hall of Fame, legendary superstars are already getting inducted into the Hall of Fame, why do we have a legacy wing of the Hall of Fame? Like, it's a little weird to me. You know what I mean? Like, are they going to start, like,
It makes no
doing
sense.
the legacy wing for, like, veterans and, like, people from, like, the 80s and 70s, and, like, are they going to start inducting, like newer superstars, like fucking, like, Finn Balor into the regular wing of the Hall? Like, it just doesn't make any sense.
Well, no, the legacy I think is for deceased people. I think they're trying to separate that from, like, they want to honor them, I think, a little bit extra, which is why they're calling it the legacy. That's what I'm getting out of it.
I don't know. It just doesn't make much sense to me because, I mean, like, isn't Ultimate Warrior and then, like, a lot of people that have passed already in the Hall of Fame? So where are they going to be taken out and then put in the legacy? Like, it just, again, it doesn't.
No,
make
I don't
much
think they're gonna
sense.
take. I don't think they're gonna take out people. I just think moving forward, like, I could see Bray Wyatt or Luke Harper, like, people that aren't here anymore. Those are the ones that are gonna get inducted into the legacy edition of the Hall of Fame. But I
don't
get
know.
what WWE is trying to do here. Like, they are trying to make the Hall of Fame more prestigious. That's kind of like the message I'm getting here with, like, all the new things that they're doing. But I don't know. Like, I feel like you should just let them be in the Hall of Fame.
Angelo. Then if they are in the legacy thing, are they a Hall of Famer? Like, it just it doesn't make much sense. You know what I mean? Like,
I
if
think
they're
it's
be in the
gonna.
Hall of
I
Fame,
feel like
just
it's
put them
gonna
in the
start
Hall
to
of Fame.
make. I feel like it's gonna start to make more sense probably when we get to the Hall of Fame, like, induction, because I'm sure, like, somebody will come out and they'll probably talk about, like, what the legacy edition of the Hall of Fame is about. I'm just assuming, like, they're just trying to separate, like, the deceased people. like, I get what they're doing, but, like, I don't know, maybe less is more here. Like, just
Yeah.
induct
K-Pop.
them into the Hall of Fame. Like, why do we need to, like, separate it? I don't know.
I just they need to be a little bit more specific on like what they mean. You know what I mean?
Ooh, here we go. Geekbox here. I think they're separating the Hall of Fame between work done inside the ring, and then the legacy is more of the effects of those people who have left behind, etc. Bray being a great example. That's kind of like the message I'm kind of getting out of it, but we'll just have to wait and see. But congratulations to all three on getting inducted.
If Bray gets inducted in the Hall of Fame, 100%, I feel like it should be Eric Rowan that inducts him.
Oh, 1,000%. Or his brother Uncle Howdy.
Yeah, why
Bo
not both?
Dallas. But moving on now to our last We Are Wrestling weekly news and rumors. During an interview with TV Insider, Saraya was asked about when she will return to WWE and said this: "I would like to get back in the ring this year and really train and find myself again. I feel like I didn't do that the past couple of years. I want to do the training side of things. I want to go to Natty's training school and get in the ring with her. That's my focus this year. I didn't get to do a Royal Rumble or an Elimination Chamber or anything. I didn't get to do. Maybe down the line I will get to do them. Who knows?" What's your thoughts on Saraya's like approach to possibly come back to WWE and actually do the training and not jump right into it?
Yeah, that's what should have happened the first time around. I mean, that's a good frame of mind. I just don't know what the fuck was, holding her back in the first place. But if we're coming back to WWE, let's get it. That's home.
What's your thoughts, Danny, on it?
Thanks, Geek.
My question is WWE gonna clear her? Because like that's why she went to AEW in the first place, because WWE wouldn't clear her, because WWE has, the biggest, clear wellness policy or whatever. If one thing is out of line, then you're pretty much done. AEW I feel like is not as thorough as WWE is, and we clearly see that from what we see on TV. I wouldn't mind if she came back to WWE in like a active role or whatever. Do I think she needs to be like full time? No. But I can see her definitely like making sporadic appearances. I can see her working with the women. I can see her contributing. But are we really at the stage to where we really need to see Paige every single week? I'm not quite sure about that.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like her actually taking the time, like Ben said, like she should have just done that from the beginning with her AEW run, and it just seems like she wasn't taking her AEW run as serious as we thought. So now, like, I can't blame Tony Khan for maybe not using her like he should have, because she basically just went on this interview and just said, like, well, I want to get back, like, I was a shell of my former self in AEW, and I want to come back as Paige. Like, the woman who won the championship the first night she was on the main roster. And I just think that, not a good look, but I see what she's trying to do. Probably get some negotiations in there, because she is an independent contractor. But I hope all is well with Paige, and I do hope that she does come back better than her AEW run.
She does have name value, and I do think WWE will be able to utilize her. But like I don't want her to be like a Charlotte Flair. I feel like Charlotte Flair should have left, full time a while ago. And I just don't want Paige to stay around too long to where people get sick of her. You know what I mean? Use her sporadically, use her and, wait till you have a really good storyline that she can be involved with, involve her in that. But I don't want her to just be in random matches on a fucking Monday night just for the sake of having her on TV.
Yeah, right now Ben's looking at his picture of Mercedes Moné.
I'm watching the fucking destroyer that Dominic just gave Penta on Monday.
Oh, the no-sell?
Yeah.
Oh, I totally forgot about this, though. Might as well ask you guys this real quick before we get into the getting put over. Are you guys going to talk about the WWE ID Championship being open to all indie wrestlers, and if they win it, they get a WWE contract? How do you guys feel? How do you guys feel about that? Like, new concept.
Interesting concept. If they win a championship, they get a contract.
So basically, Ben, what they're trying to say is, because they're doing this tournament during WrestleMania week, and they're going to crown the first WWE ID champ. So pretty much, let's say Blitzkrieg. Bryce Donovan wins the title, right? He goes to Blitzkrieg. He defends the championship. He could defend it against any independent wrestler. So let's say him versus Bobby Orlando. Bobby Orlando beats Bryce for the championship. That means he gets rewarded a WWE ID contract.
Nice.
That is actually pretty fire, not even gonna lie.
Yep.
And for those of you that are new to the chat, we work with a company, Blitzkrieg Pro, down here in the Mass, Connecticut area. And we had our first WWE ID match. Shawn Legacy versus Marcus Mathers, and the shit was a banger. Go to IWTV, and if you want to watch that match, it's definitely worth your time. I like that, actually, because like I feel like there's a lot of indie guys that are worth the time, and they should be elevated to the next level or whatever. And when you're an indie talent, it's not always like clear on how to get to that next level. You know what I mean? But something like this, to where Bryce Donovan wins the title, loses it to somebody else, and that person ends up getting granted a WWE ID contract. I mean, I think it's beneficial to WWE. I think it's beneficial to the indie talent. I think it's, I think it'll work.
I have a bold prediction. This is how Matt Cardona. This is how Matt Cardona is going to get his way back into the WWE. He's already on social media trying to get a shot for the championship.
That's funny.
But I will say, I love this concept because it's also going to make things even more unpredictable in the indies. Like, let's say somebody does beat like Bryce or whoever wins the title, and then they get rewarded like an ID contract. Like, that's going to be a really cool moment. And it's going to make like the matches more unpredictable, rather than if we didn't know this concept going into like an indie show, we would say, oh, this is easy. Like Bryce, he's going to retain the title. So I do like the unpredictability here.
And I feel like it's going to get more eyes on a lot of like independent promotions or whatever that people may not know about or whatever. Like, because like the minute you mentioned WWE and like,
that was that's the
whatever,
concept of the WWE ID already, dog.
Well,
what the fuck
I know.
are you talking about? What the fuck are you
Not
talking about?
necessarily.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
That's
what are you
literally what the fuck it is.
The unpredictability of having somebody potentially
Blitzkrieg had a full house at the last event because of the WWE ID match, and it was the first one in Connecticut.
Yeah, I know. But with somebody being able to, like, you having an ID championship match or whatever, you don't go into the show knowing that somebody's going to potentially get an ID contract. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what makes it unpredictable, yeah.
Yeah.
But even before the championship, that's kind of how they rewarded the contracts. They surprise you. Oh, man. Thank you, Danny, for giving me that laugh. I needed it. But before we do get into the getting put over, I just want to say, to all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs out there, last week we set a goal, which is something we've been doing here on the show every Wednesday, which if you guys want to be a part of it, you can. If you guys don't want to and just enjoy the show, you could do that. But Ben, our first goal, we reached a couple weeks ago with him getting his Mercedes Monet 8x10 autograph and the short film, the short skit, which will be up on the We Are Wrestling channel probably this weekend. Well, we set a new goal last week, and if we reached $100, I must take 3 hits with a Kendall stick by Ben. Reason why, Danny, you can't hit me with the stick is because you'll hit me in the head and I'll get CTE. We already discussed that without you here on the show. But during the AEW Dynasty watch-along, we got the rest of the money donated. So during WrestleMania weekend, ladies and gentlemen, Ben is going to be hitting me with a Kendall stick. And I'm not looking forward to it. And I blame Eric Ellington for that. He donated the majority of the money. But this is why I want to talk about this real quick, because we want you guys either in the live chat or down in the comment section below to come up with a stipulation for Danny Huckins over here. Ben had to suffer. I'm going to have to suffer. Now it's your turn, Danny. So, yes, they did. Yep, Eric Ellington donated the rest, but just want to put that out there, guys.
Danny goes through a table.
Danny goes through a table? What do you think about that, Danny? You like that?
Danny
We can
goes
make that
through a
happen.
table.
I'll do it.
Double choke slam, or you want a 3D? Imagine lifting Danny up for a 3D.
I don't think either one of you would be able to lift me up like that.
We can't do a 3D, but we can definitely do a choke slam. All he has to do is jump, though.
That would be great. Honestly, a double choke slam through a table. That's going to be the next goal starting Mania week. I like that. All right. Well, with that being said, guys, let's get into the Wrestling.
I feel like it should be a tad more than $100 though, because WWE takes a portion, or YouTube takes a portion of the money, so you don't get to see the full 100.
Danny, you are going to get a little portion of your stipulation. That's how we're doing it here. Like, I'm getting a little portion for getting hit with the Kendall stick. Ben's getting a little portion for getting his Mercedes 8x10, even though he shouldn't, because that's a gift. Don't worry, you will get a little something, and I'll figure it all out behind the scenes. But with that being said, guys, let's get into the We Are Wrestling Getting Put Over segment, where every week, Ben, Danny, and myself, we pick one past, present, or future professional wrestler, and we put them over. Last week, it was Danny's turn, and we got to put over Chris Jericho. And that was a lot of work, Danny. Like, you put Ben and I, like, we had to work overtime here. But this week, for the Getting Put Over, Ben, you got to pick, and who are we putting over?
Stephanie Vacquier, man.
All right, and that's why in the intro we always say past, present, or future. And I think a lot of the times we don't put over the future, and in this case, we are going to be putting over Stephanie. And now, let's go over the accolades for her. So, with Stephanie, she's done a lot with Lucha Libre companies. And usually the way that we do these, we ask you guys certain questions. But because she is a future and she hasn't really done a lot in the business, we're pretty much going to be talking about like her short stint in the WWE. Talk about things that maybe we watched before she got to WWE. And we're going to kind of fantasy book what we see in her future. So we hope you guys interact in the live chat. If you guys want to, let us know. But here we go with some of the accolades. All right, Stephanie is a one-time CMLL Tag Team Champion. She is also a, can't even pronounce that, Occidente Tag Champion with the same partner, which I couldn't pronounce her name. Not even going to try. And she also is a one-time CMLL World Champion. She is also a one-time New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Champion. And she also was number 5 in the Pro Wrestling Illustrated Top 500 Women Wrestlers in 2024. And she is currently the NXT Women's World Champion and a one-time NXT North American Champion.
45-day reign.
45-day reign, and she's somebody who has had a massive push during her time as of right now in the WWE. Yep. But I do want to talk about a little bit of her past, because one thing I did was my homework, like I always do. That's how I was able to graduate high school. And with Stephanie, I did go back and actually watch a couple matches of hers just to get myself a little prepared, because I'm not going to lie, I don't really watch NXT regularly. I do watch highlights, but with Stephanie, I did want to do my research, and my God, very fucking talented. Some of the matches that I did enjoy from her, I have to go with Forbidden Door with AEW, her and Mercedes Moné, Ben's favorite women's wrestler. I thought that they put on a classic, great match. And I also really did enjoy a lot of her work, which I know we're going to be talking about her as well. Her versus Julia. They did a lot of great matches as well before WWE that I personally enjoyed. And I love that, they both joined the WWE around the same time. But with Stephanie, though, getting into her WWE run now. She had her debut in NXT. I believe this was was it the week before the CW, or was it the CW premiere?
I'm
think
pretty
it's
sure it
like
was
the
the
week before.
CW premiere.
CW premiere? Yeah, okay. First of all, but like before we even get into like the CW premiere, like, dude, look, I just want to mention the fact like Homegirl's been wrestling since she was 16 years old, dude, since February of 09. Like that's a long fucking time, dude, and that she's been really working to like craft this whole thing that she has going forward, which kind of honestly shows the experience on her face. Like the Homegirl does not look shook in any demeanor. Like she looks like she knows what the fuck she's doing. I think the language barrier obviously is a big thing because I mean you got to remember she not only spent a lot of time in Japan, but she's also the second Chilean fucking female superstar to wrestle for WWE in general. So it's like the aura is very much there, you know. So it was kind of cool, not only seeing her have such a successful, debut in WWE with NXT back I think in 2024, 2023 or something like that, or I think it's 2024, right?
Yep, 2024.
Okay. So when she showed up, like it was already feeling like a big deal, kind of almost in like the same essence as Penta. Like it was already kind of like, wow, And she had just appeared on Forbidden Door, like 2 months prior, or like a month or so prior to debuting in WWE. A lot of people thought her landing point was gonna be AEW. People were shook when she fucking signed with WWE, which I guess was her fucking thing this whole time. She always wanted to end up there. But she wanted to kind of, obviously broaden her atmospheres out in Japan. She had the choice, which is the interesting thing. She had the choice between the main roster and NXT, but she originally was slated for I think SmackDown, but she decided last minute that she wanted to own the more American style and WWE style of professional wrestling before going to the main roster, which shows a lot on her experience and character as a professional wrestler.
Yeah, and also didn't Julia, she had the same opportunity as well, and I think that she chose to go to NXT as well.
Yep.
And that just kind of tells you how much they care about their craft when it comes to pro wrestling.
Yep.
Julie and Stephanie, I believe, are roommates. Like they were like outside the business, they were really, really, really good friends. So.
Yep.
Yes, they are, and they both have had very similar career paths. Which, for me, I've always been more of a Julia fan than Stephanie, but I'm not, discrediting anything Stephanie has done, because both of these women have had such a great run, and we're not even in a full year yet of what they've done. We've gotten a champion versus champion match, which they did do at Roadblock, which we did see Stephanie end up winning that match, holding both championships. Yep. And this past Tuesday on NXT, we got to see Julia finally turn heel. And I think that this is going to be a start of the next generational rivalry when it comes to the women. For years, you've had different draft classes, the 4 horsewomen. No matter what, them always being close, they're always going to be bitter rivals because they're competing for that spot. And now, with both Stephanie and Julia being the future of WWE, I think that this is going to be a rivalry that I could see possibly headlining a WrestleMania years from now.
Oh, yeah. That was just a taste of what we got in NXT.
Absolutely. And also, I do want to talk about as well her Royal Rumble appearance as well.
Yep.
Her entering the Rumble at 24.
Big pop.
She got a massive pop.
And then even doing the same thing with Julia and her with the face-off. They're really setting up 10 years from now, which I love.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Her fucking Rumble presence was actually one that not only was I happy that she took part in, but the reaction she got was fucking incredible. I was genuinely so happy people gave so much of a fuck because, dude, that just added to her star power and just how calm her demeanor is, dude. You could tell she's been doing this for a long time and that this is her dream. So I'm very excited, for her future in the business.
We got to really shine the light on her match with Mercedes as well at Forbidden Door. That was the first time I actually laid eyes on Stephanie or whatever.
Me too.
I didn't know her prior, but I really feel like that was the turning point to where it really got WWE interested in her. That was a phenomenal match.
It
one
was
of Mercedes' best match in AEW.
It was, and actually earlier today, funny you said that. I actually sent Ben the highlight to that match, hoping that he would check it out sometime. Because I think that Ben, despite how you feel about Mercedes, I think that you'll really respect the match. Like, it's really good. And Stephanie looked great.
That match is really what, like, you know, got WWE interested in signing Stephanie or whatever. And, you know, shortly after that match, it was, you know, everybody was like, oh my God, Stephanie going to, you know, leaving CMLL to go to AEW, and turned out she was going to WWE. So,
and now that like she is a future, let's fantasy book her in WWE, because obviously with the potential, the upside that we've seen with her in this short stint as of right now, they got big plans for her. And I know this is going to be a lot of fun to like fantasy book here, like what we can see out of Stephanie in her run. Like, what's her ceiling in the WWE, you think?
So
Future accolades.
First things first, I do see her as an Intercontinental Champion more than a U.S. Champion. I do see her not as a Tag Team Champion. I see her going for World Champion, like the likes of Rhea Ripley, you know, like the World Champion rather than, you know, the WWE Women's Championship. Like, I see her in more of, like, she's going to Raw. I don't see her on SmackDown. I'm really stoked for the bangers that her and Rhea are going to put on. I'm excited that for the bangers that her and Liv Morgan are going to put on.
That's going to be a good feud.
Her and Tiffany Stratton are going to put on some bangers. Her and Lyra Valkyria are going to put on some bangers. Her and Bayley could even put on some fucking bangers. I'm excited for her versus Becky Lynch. You know, like, there's a lot of cool fucking avenues we can go down, you know, when it comes to Stephanie Valkyria. You know, like, she's got the in-ring grit. Like I said, she's been doing this a long fucking time, you know. She's been around the world, per se. She's been in, you know, areas of the unknown. She's been in she's been in Japan, dude. Like, that's all you really fucking need. Like, if you can,
and Mexico
make a
too,
name for yourself in Japan and Mexico, you're fucking set, dude. Like, at this point, the sky is the limit. And she's going to be somebody that succeeds heavily in WWE. She's going to be booked fucking like a god.
Absolutely. So, Danny, what do you see for her upside, her potential?
I can see her, you know, being the face of NXT for a little bit. I can see her definitely, probably this time next year, maybe even after Mania next year, being called up to the main roster. I could see her, you know, scrapping it up with the likes of Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, you know, Liv Morgan. I think those are all be banger feuds that she could be involved with. And, you know, I honestly think, you know, sky's the limit for her. She can go as far as she really wants to. She's got the aura, she's got the presence, she's got the character, she's got the
Money in the Bank winner.
Theatrics. Her entrance is fucking fire. You know, she comes out with like the fucking devil horns or whatever, and the red smoke and stuff like that. Like, you know, she is definitely gonna be the face of either Raw or SmackDown in the future, and I'm here for it, bro. As bad as I think NXT is on some weeks, you know, I watch, but I don't watch on a weekly basis. I don't like the Performance Center. Maybe it stems from, you know, the pandemic or whatever. I just hate the look of the Performance Center, so I usually try to watch when they go to different venues or whatever. But Stephanie and Julia are like always my highlights whenever I watch the show, because they're, you know, it just seems like everything that they do really matters in the grand scheme of things. You know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to seeing what she does.
And that's the thing, like, I know they are still working on their proper English, but like they don't have to say anything to make you look at him. And
she's main event in WrestleMania.
But what I'm trying to say here is they don't have to say anything, and they have your eyes glued to the television screen.
Whoa. Bro, hot take. Bold take. I see Stephanie Valkyria being the first Paul Heyman girl. I could see Stephanie Valkyria getting managed by Paul Heyman, because she has that same aura that fucking Roman Reigns has. I know I felt that.
See that.
I know I felt that feeling somewhere. Like, she's got that same calm, just god aura demeanor. Like, I see her, like, if she can't get past the barrier, or if it gets to a point, I genuinely see her being a Paul Heyman girl. I 100% could see it, especially for a heel persona, dude. That'd be unstoppable.
So I will say, with Stephanie, I think that she's going to definitely be a future WWE Hall of Famer. She's somebody that I don't think WWE is going to be losing in any bidding war. I think that she's going to prove that she's worth max money, and when that time comes, she's going to sign the dotted line. They definitely have big plans for her because they continue to showcase her and Julia as the top female wrestlers on the NXT brand. And I do think that Stephanie, by next year, she'll get called up to the main roster. And I think in 2027, Royal Rumble, she is going to win it. And I think that going into that WrestleMania, she is going to win her first world championship at that Mania. And I think that it's going to be really cool to see both paths with her and her best friend Julia, and to see like who's going to get to the top first. And me, I am rooting for Julia a little bit more, but I do think that Stephanie has a very bright future in the WWE, and I think that she's going to be winning Money in the Bank. She's going to be going into chamber matches. I think her and Julia, they have the potential maybe years down the line to possibly main event night 1 or night 2 of a WrestleMania or possibly a SummerSlam.
Maybe.
Oh, 100%. Now that
because they have that aura, they have that star power. Because, like, think about it. Once they continue to get their English better, imagine them cutting promos against each other. Like, they don't even have to do that right now in NXT, and they have people glued. In my opinion, friggin' they should be having Julia versus Stephanie in the main event of Stand and Deliver. That is how, that is how committed I am to, like, both of these two. And I think that the future is so bright for Stephanie and especially Julia.
NXT has the best women's division, hands down, of any company, in my honest opinion. You know, I mean, look who they have.
I do think so, too.
Because
it's all diverse. They have people from TNA. They have people from New Japan. They have people from Mexico. They have people from AEW now. And pretty soon, like, we have these legends, future, and greats. Like, we have people coming from the Performance Center that they're training that have never stepped foot in a ring. So, like, man, WWE's, like, they got a very bright future for their women. Absolutely.
Oh, 100%.
1,000%. But, guys, that was the Getting Put Over segment, where every week we pick one past, present, or future professional wrestler and we put them over. And Ben, I think you really picked a great one to put over this week.
Hell yeah.
With Julia. Or, not Julia, Stephanie.
Botch.
Well, it is my turn now for next week's episode, which is WrestleMania week. So, I don't know, because we are going to be doing predictions. So I think for next week's Getting Put Over, damn, let me take a look here real quick. Who can I put over here? All right, I think I got who we're gonna put over next week for the show. And honestly, I think I want to put over for WrestleMania. Damn, like, I'm contemplating between a couple people here. Shit. Who do I want to put over next week on the show? Damn. Alright, so I think next week for the Getting Put Over, because I thought Danny was going to be the one next week, but I forgot that he picked Jericho. So honestly, next week, let's put over Mick Foley. Fuck it. We'll go with Mick Foley. Why not?
Mick Foley!
I think it's time that we put him over.
Bro, Mick Foley. And we're going to be seeing him in June, so, you know.
Yes, we are at the Wrestling Classic. All right, so with that being said now, let's get into the We Are Wrestling Podcast main event topic. And everybody is talking about this whole thing that happened last Friday on SmackDown. Because last Friday, Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair went off script and got very personal. What was your thoughts on the segment and the whole incident that happened between Charlotte and Tiffany?
It's sad that it took a fucking train wreck to be compelled because, dude, that was so fucking uncomfortable to watch. Like it was uncomfortable. Like, yeah, I get it's professional wrestling, but dude, that was just fucking embarrassing. Like, Tiffany came out fucking blazing, dude. She was spot on about fucking everything, but you can tell that the fucking crowd heat is making Charlotte crumble under the pressure because she didn't know what the fuck to do. She didn't know what the fuck to say. Couldn't fucking remember her lines. That fucking Kaiser line was desperate as fuck. Couldn't let her get the last word in, dude. It was fucking embarrassing. That all of those boos and those reactions, those were not good heat. That was go away forever type of shit, dude. Charlotte is in a bad fucking way right now, dude.
She's in big dog Roman Reigns territory.
Dog. If she fucking didn't get scolded after that entire fucking thing went down, even both of them, if there was no fucking repercussions for what the fuck went down, dude, what the fuck? Because that was horrendous to watch, dude. That was fucking embarrassing, and somebody backstage knows it too because they cut it from the segment.
Yeah, you would think normally we get these issues a lot on the other program, AEW. So it's kind of weird that this is happening in WWE.
It's unprofessional as fuck.
So what's your thoughts on this, Daddy?
You know, I've been saying for a long time that, you know, Charlotte is nothing without, you know, just pretty much taking everything from her father. Yeah, it was, like Ben said, it was a train wreck. You know what I mean?
We're letting him have his moment, Ben.
Yeah, you're letting me. Yeah, it's weird that I'm on the full screen. It's just fucking horrible. I don't even know what else to say, man. Like,
I give you the full screen to let you have your Charlotte Flair moment, and that's what you give us.
Tiffany,
like, I don't even know, like, legitimately, like, what to say. Like, how many different ways and different times can I be like, bro, Charlotte fucking sucks. Like, you know, I
this
say
is your moment, Daddy, to tell us, fuck you, I told you so.
You know, I don't like to rub it in too much, you know, too hard.
But, Daddy's getting humbled now. The older he's getting, I love it.
I genuinely actually appreciate that.
I do too, but like, come on, like, we know Daddy now. Like, let it out, Daddy. Let it out.
If this was 2022, he would have let it out, but we're in 25.
I know. I got to get used to it. All right.
I'm slowly starting to realize that, you know, like, the more our audience grows, you know, you got to kind of do things in a more professional manner. You can't really, like, you know, just, you know, go off the cuff with certain things or whatever.
No, facts. Facts.
But
you're right.
You know, the whole Charlotte and Tiffany thing was a train wreck. You know, you could definitely tell how uncomfortable Wade Barrett was during that whole segment. Oh, yeah. And I think he even, like, poked fun at it when he went back to commentary. Like, look at the look on his face right now. He's like,
he looks like he's gonna be a part of that meeting later.
Oh, this is gonna be bad news.
Bad news, Barrett. Uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable news, Barrett.
I do feel like Charlotte, she has a hard time putting people over and, you know, allowing people to really get the, you know, having her, like, you know, rub people, whatever, give people the rub. And I feel like she knew that Tiffany was, you know, going over on her, you know, during that segment, whatever. And, you know, Charlotte Flair, we can't have that. You know what I mean? That's what it felt like the entire time. You know what I mean? Charlotte cannot help but to be in the spotlight, which is why that Kaiser line at the end was cringe as
Desperate
fuck,
as fuck.
Bro. Like, she couldn't allow Tiffany Stratton to get the last word. Charlotte Flair has to be the center of attention.
There is something, though, I do want to address before I do give my thoughts on the segment here. From Aya, making fun of her looks is unnecessary, and that's one thing I am seeing a lot online. And, like, I think when it's all said and done, like, when it comes to the women wrestlers, I don't like that the IWC does that, and I feel like that's why, like, quickly I want to address it here on the podcast, because we do have a platform, and, like, I don't like when, like, pro wrestling fans go out and, like, they say, like, they talk about somebody's looks, because at the end of the day, like, they're performers, we should be critiquing them on their performance, not their looks.
Or
So
because with their
Yeah,
performance,
I
they
agree.
can learn and they can change.
Or
So
their
we can't say
marriages.
that with all the plastic surgery Charlotte's had, she looks like a 70-year-old meth head. that's
No,
been,
we
you know-
cannot say that, Danny.
No,
No.
yeah. Yeah,
That-
no, the marriage was not after the Kai's line. The marriage was beforehand. She said 0-3, so did the woo thing, and that's when she dropped the Kaiser line. Either way, both were not really called for on either end, which is why both, like, where Tiffany definitely stood her fucking ground and went to work for herself, and it worked. I think both of those statements were 100% uncalled for. Like, that's a little too personal. Like, we are not on. Yeah, there are some things that even I think is like, all right, man, that's a little bad taste because like that's where shit really starts getting dragged through the mud, like we saw, you know.
And I do want to address this because she said that in Charlotte is talented. It has nothing to do with her dad. Everything from her entrance to her wardrobe, her gear, her move set, her catchphrase, literally everything is her dad, right or wrong. Literally everything.
I
But
think
she
she's
is
just more of an
talented.
athletic version of her dad.
she's very talented, but like that I will agree that she is talented. Like that's worked for.
She's
like,
talented.
100%.
It's just her ego. That's her number one problem when it comes to professional wrestling. It's her ego, and I do blame a lot of people that were trying to push her as the next Ric Flair. So like part of it isn't her fault, but then again, like how many times can we say, oh, it's creative's fault, it's Vince's fault, it's Rick's fault? Like at some point we have to like hold her accountable because she's the performer. And you can go out and reinvent yourself. Like we've seen it so many times with generational
Dominic
stars.
Mysterio.
Cody Rhodes, Dominic Mysterio. Exactly. So when it's all
have
said
that
and done,
separation.
like my thoughts on the segment, it was very uncomfortable. And I think Tiffany did go into business for herself as well because I didn't watch the segments from a couple weeks ago, but weren't they doing like a telecast thing and like Charlotte was like burying her those couple weeks, like putting herself over. And Tiffany, I think, had enough of it, so she had to take matters into her own hands before getting buried entirely, and she had to do what she did, which I don't blame her at all, because this business, you have to be selfish, and Charlotte buried her twice, telecast-wise. And Tiffany had to do something, and if she didn't, then at WrestleMania, like WWE would easily make the call. All right, let's just give Charlotte her 15th World Championship. Let's just let her bury her. And like Tiffany, like this was a make or break situation for her, and I think she handled it well. And I think she made Charlotte look like trash in that ring. Like, and I can't believe Charlotte let Tiffany get to her like that. And like you would think with Tiffany Stratton, this is her first WrestleMania. Tiffany would be making these mistakes because she's only been in the business for so long. Charlotte, my God, like she's even main evented a WrestleMania with Becky and Ronda Rousey.
Tiffany's
And
only
she's
25,
been
I
in
think.
multiple big-time WrestleMania matches, and she let somebody who has never even wrestled at Mania get to her head like that. That tells you everything there. And if they give Charlotte Flair the championship, they fucked up. They fucked up bad.
Yep. And my
But
main issue.
But I will say
like,
my favorite thing, though, of all this was Kaiser's video on Twitter of Shawn Michaels responding to the whole DM allegation.
Like, my main issue with Charlotte has always been, one, she doesn't like to put over anybody. She likes to have the full spotlight. And two, there's no separation between her and her dad. Like, you know, like you were talking about Rey Mysterio and like a lot of these, like, you know, Cody Rhodes, these second generation stars or whatever. Like, you know that, you know, their dads were pro wrestlers or whatever, but they're like, there's that separation there. You know what I mean? Charlotte, like, she relies solely on her dad's accolades and everything that is Ric Flair, you know, to be a part of her on-screen character. And, you know, that's definitely a huge reason as why I'm a known Charlotte Flair hater, and I will continue to be until she retires.
Okay, wait, there is some I do want to play devil's advocate here because like I'm reading this comment here from Aya and she does make a pretty valid point here. What irritates me about the whole thing though is that Charlotte had a whole interview talking about her marriage and how everything has been affecting her.
So I
think
dodged a fucking bullet.
So I think her her what she was trying to say here is pretty much like her talking about her personal things. Like in an interview, Tiffany went out and used that. Like, how do you guys feel about that part of it?
Like I said, there's some things and there's a line, man. Like, there's a line you don't cross. Like, I couldn't imagine, being a part of a job, going out there and have someone talk about my marriage and not punching them in the fucking mouth. Like, there's no world where I allow that separation to intertwine with my job. So if you went out there and did that, shame on you as a fucking human being. So I'm kind of on that, that's why I'm saying, like, even Tiffany should be ashamed of herself here too, is because nobody should be bringing up this shit. Nobody. I fucking find it in bad taste. I fucking hated it when Charlotte got her fucking brother brought up with her during the fucking Paige feud. People should be ashamed of themselves, whether it's fucking backstage liberties or superstar liberties. There needs to be a fucking line.
The funny thing is, Charlotte's the one that divorced Andrade. Andrade's not the one that divorced her, so I don't know why she's crying about being divorced when she's the one that wanted to do it in the first place.
But that's the thing though. Like you can put your personal opinions, how you feel about her as a performer aside. They both were in love.
There needs to be a line.
And I do agree with that. Like, there does have to be a line. So I totally understand where she's coming from. And I do think that this is stuff that WWE, like, they need to make clear. Like, I know Triple H and, like, the new WWE, they try to give their performers a little bit more leeway, a little bit more freedom, because they don't want it to be structured like Vince McMahon. But at the same time, there's a reason why there was structure. Because you have to follow rules. And in AEW, we thought that at first, when, like, before all the Tony Khan shit came out, people were saying that the grass isn't always greener on the other side. And there was a lot of drama that happened because they gave their performers too much freedom. And I think with Triple H, maybe he's giving some of these performers a little too much freedom, and that's why we're getting some of these incidents that can easily be avoided if we put some structure in there.
What are your thoughts on this? What Aya just said. She's like, do you like Dom? Because same thing. There is no separation between him and Rey Mysterio.
I think.
Well, here's the thing about
as a superstar. I think that he does suffer from the same disorder of his dad. I mean, he's kind of separating in a slight way because he has more of the angst of Eddie Guerrero. Where that doesn't make it different, it is kind of the same thing. Like, he should just drop Mysterio entirely, change up the fucking Eagle shit, do your own fucking thing, and completely depart from it. Like, there is the same thing that I feel there that they both suffer from. What in terms of charisma, and it comes off better, does Dom do it better? In my opinion, yes. But I can understand the frustration there because it is kind of the same concept.
But I will say this, though, I don't think it's a bad thing sometimes, like, honoring, like, your dad. Like, there's some things that I do like that Dom, like, has that, Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero had. Like, Charlotte Flair, some of the things with Ric Flair that she does, I like. The figure 8, I think that is such a creative submission move. So, like, there's things I like when they honor their past generation. But I think that, like, the difference between Dirty Dom and Charlotte Flair is that Charlotte does it too much. Like, trying to replicate her dad. While Dirty Dom, he tried doing that at first, and he wasn't getting put over. And then that's when he decided to turn heel, and now he has a whole nother personality that's outside, like, the mask and other things going on. Like, the man freaking loves chicken tendies and other things like that. So there's, like, more personality there that, like, I would love to see out of Charlotte Flair. Not just, like, coming out with the robes, the pyro, like, similar gear that Ric Flair would wear if he was a girl. Like, I just want there to be, like, a difference.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, she's a great performer. But the difference between her and Dirty Dom is, Dirty Dom, he stands out as his own. I don't look at him like that's Rey Mysterio's kid. But is there anything else, guys, before we close off this week's episode?
Now we covered it.
Well, we covered it. Hopefully, if they do have another segment, which I hope they don't this week, hopefully they do a better job and have a little bit more structure, stay on course, because this is supposed to be, one of the biggest matches, right? Mania weekend. And right now, I wouldn't even put this match on the fucking pre-show. And that's horrible to say.
Yeah, no, that's true. And sometimes, unfortunately, I think more people now are invested in this because of all the controversy, because at the end of the day, controversy makes cash. But couple things before we do close off this week's episode of the We Are Wrestling podcast. WrestleMania week is next week, and we do have quite a lineup for you guys for content. We have on Monday John Cena's WrestleMania match tier list. Tuesday, Monday Night Raw reactions. Wednesday, we'll be doing another episode of the live We Are Wrestling podcast, except it's going to be WrestleMania 41 predictions. So we're really going to need you guys there in the live chat to be a part of this. Thursday, I'm going to be doing a tier list video on the WrestleMania stages, ranking them from worst to best. And then on Friday, We Are Wrestling Podcast Extra with whoever's available with me. Talk about some of the news that isn't going to make the pod because it is predictions. Then on Saturday and Sunday, of course, the WrestleMania 41 live watch-along, which if you guys have never seen a WrestleMania watch-along, definitely need to join. It's the best way to interact with us and with these live episodes every Wednesday. Also, AEW Collision this Saturday. If you guys do see Ben, Danny, and myself, we will be there. Definitely don't hesitate to come say what's up to us.
Tag us on social media if you see us on TV.
Absolutely. We are going to be holding a We Are Wrestling sign. That's right. A couple vlogs as well. We do have the big event vlog. If you guys haven't checked that out, you can. Also, the Jericho Cruise, 2 We Are Wrestling Maniacs, Dan the Man, and Silky J hung out and partied with Will Ospreay. If you guys want to go check those out, you can. This Friday, New England Fan Fest. That vlog will be out. Me meeting Matt Cardona and Maven. Lots of awesome content we got there. But, guys, if you enjoyed this episode of the We Are Wrestling podcast, make sure to smash that like button now. If you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already and you're listening to this episode, wherever you get your podcast, give us a 5-star review, not just any review, a best one review, and download the episodes, and give us a follow. But if you're not a Maniac yet already, over on the YouTube channel where you get the best pro wrestling content, including the live episodes of the We Are Wrestling podcast every Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Recommend you guys to hit that subscribe button now, turn on the post notifications. The link's down in the description box below. You can go follow me over on my social medias, and you can check out my channel, Best One Donnie. I do toy hunts, I do toy reviews. You can check out Danny's channel. He does music reactions on one, also does wrestling streams on the other. And you can go check out Ben's YouTube channel, close to 10,000 subscribers, doing music reactions, and he's also doing Twitch streams as well every day. So if you guys want to go support us on our other adventures, all the links down below. And you can go follow We Are Wrestling on Facebook, Instagram, and X for daily wrestling news and even short clips. Go subscribe to the We Are Wrestling Clips channel. We're trying to grow that. And to all the Maniacs out there worldwide, we are take it over. And TK, you got to pay us because people are going to watch Collision because of us. Peace.
Exactly. Put us on the payroll.